Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jen. This is Jen's Happy Home. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel because I just have some really fun and hopefully inspiring videos coming up, and I think that most of you who clicked on today for family meal planning will certainly enjoy it. So today I am here to talk about meal planning for your family during a pandemic. Trying to find the inspiration to make healthy meals for your family every single night when you are likely already making every single breakfast and lunch and snack, and I know it can be overwhelming. In my home right now, I have one child who is virtual learning from home, and I have another one who is only going a couple of days a week. So we have a full house all of the time. Also, my husband works from home. So there is a lot of meal planning that needs to be done. And if you are not new to my channel, you know it's something that I always struggle with. And I have found a way to make it really fun, interesting, and almost exciting in a way. And I am really excited to share that with you guys in hopes that maybe that will help you as well if you're struggling to get excited about making dinner every single night. So here are some tips that you are going to find helpful and might give you that push that you need to actually follow through with healthy meal planning for your family every single day of the week. I know it sounds daunting. Here we go. Okay, so you need to set a time of the week to think about meal planning. And this probably is the hardest thing for me, which is why I'm starting with it. I need to sit down. I usually find time on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon to just sit down for about 20 minutes and figure out what the heck I'm going to be making for the week. An important thing to do is to see what you already have stocked in your fridge and your pantry, because something I do more often than not is I find new recipes to make, and I don't always make all of them, but yet I go out and buy the ingredients for them and then I forget about them. So I have a lot of things in my refrigerator and my pantry that sit for a long time, and then I eventually end up throwing them out. So try to work through what you already have before you get into making a whole bunch of new things that doesn't use anything that you currently have stored. So that's really important. So what I'll do is I'll go in my fridge, see mainly what kind of meats I have, because those I want to use, as well as produce. And once I am starting fresh with really not much in the fridge or the pantry, I can start getting really creative with new recipes because I'm basically starting from scratch. Go through some of your old recipe books, maybe go through some of your old meal plans. I found that really helpful because I do tend to have phases where I do really well and then I kind of jump ship and don't want anything to do with it anymore. So if I look at some of my old planner books and some of my old meal planning books that I had at the time when I was really feeling overly excited about meal planning, it gives me ideas and it reminds me of things that I once made that I just for whatever reason don't make anymore. So I find that to be really helpful, as well as finding inspiration from books that I'm reading. I can just be reading any type of a novel or book, and when people talk about food or the dinners that they're having, sometimes I think it's fun to try to recreate that same meal, and I've done that in previous videos where I shared some meals that I've made from the Harry Potter books and from Little Women. You can find inspiration from different generations. Take a trip down memory lane. Try to remember what some of your favorite meals were when you were little, or maybe ask your mom, or if you're lucky enough to have a grandmother, ask them what they made back in the 50s or 60s or 70s. What were some of their go-to meals? And it might be fun to recreate some of your childhood meals that you really looked forward to when you were a kid, or to have your mom or your grandma share with you some of their recipes when they were a young housewife. So there's lots of ways that you can find inspiration, and I have really lately had a lot of fun talking with my mom and with my in-laws about the types of food that they ate when they were a child and what it was like back then, and what just like what the family dinner was like back then, and all of those things. It created some really nice conversation, and it also had me more enthusiastic about cooking. Another thing that I have found helpful is don't overwhelm yourself. It's great to have a list of all the recipes that you want to make. I have so many recipe books that I have tagged with all of these different recipes that I want to try, and then I'll sit down and I'll have, say, 6 recipes that I want to try for the week that I've never tried before, and that will overwhelm you. So I would recommend, if you're going to experiment with new recipes and you want to try new things, because that is what keeps this exciting and fun, don't do more than a couple a week. Try to keep with some of your basic recipes that you don't even need to think about, things that you can throw in the crock pot or throw in the oven that you already know how to quickly put together, and gradually learn new recipes. And always try to change it up and try something new once in a while. A lot of times we get very set in our ways, and I know I do this all of the time. I'll do Taco Tuesday every single week, and I'll do meatloaf a lot, and there's just like certain meals, spaghetti and meatballs, there's certain things that I make all of the time. Chili is another one, and the kids just get really tired of it, especially since when I make things like a big pot of chili, which is also a helpful tip, I will save a lot of it and freeze it so that I do have meals to serve on nights that I just don't have the time to cook. So that's a great tip, but try to change it up once in a while so that it doesn't become too monotonous and your family is just choking down that same chicken dish. My kids will say to me, please don't make chicken again, because I do make a lot of chicken. So I try to change it up when I can, and that always helps for not only your family, but also for yourself, because it makes you get a little bit more creative in what you're making. Something else that I find incredibly helpful is to have a game plan for the week. I try to schedule each day of the week what I'm making to make sure that the meat is defrosted, make sure I have all the ingredients that I need, but I am very flexible with it. So I will have, say, a Monday to Friday plan, because if I cook 5 days a week, I find that I can probably do at least 1 day of leftovers, and I will always do at least 1 or 2 days of either going out or takeout. Usually on the weekends, we're not always home in the afternoon on the weekends, so those are usually the times that we tend to get takeout or go out, but it's kind of weird now because it's only outdoor dining where I live, and as the weather gets colder, that's not even going to be a thing anymore. But anyway, try to have a plan of everything that you're making, and then make your grocery list according to that plan. Make sure that you have most of the ingredients already. Make sure you're using up what you have, but then make your grocery list so that you don't forget anything. Make sure that you reference every recipe and make your grocery list, and then of course go shopping and have everything planned out what you're going to make day to day. I find that to be incredibly helpful. There was a time when I was doing monthly meal planning, so I have a book that has every single day of the month, and that's fun to do, especially if you're going to find a way to freeze meals, find a way to double up certain meals. This way you can make sure you're staggering it at least a couple of weeks apart. So, you know, it is nice to kind of change it up a little bit and try to go a couple of weeks without repetitively cooking the same thing over and over and over again, which I do a lot of that too. But anyway, I hope that you found this inspiring. I hope that it gave you some ideas of how to meal plan, especially now. I say especially during a pandemic, because the one good thing, well, I should say there are several good things that came from being quarantined with my family, but one of them is I have a lot more time to do this. When the kids had so many activities all of the time, I didn't have a lot of time for preparing meals, and now I do, because we are home for most of the time. So I would say consider this time a gift and an opportunity to do something that you've not had a chance to do before. And I know a lot of you guys are still going to an office every single day, or if you're working at home because of coronavirus, it's even harder sometimes because you have the family around. So my personal experience right now is, because my job as a travel agent is not really thriving, obviously, I have a lot more time on my hands and I am able to experiment with new meals. But that being said, this is something that once I become more familiar with doing and more comfortable with actually taking the time to make these meals, if I use this time now to build the confidence to make these meals in the future, I think I will be able to pull it off even on the busiest of days. So that's what I am hopeful for, and maybe it will help you to do that now as well. I hope to share in upcoming videos in the near future things that have inspired me to cook and how I've gotten excited about it. And this is going to be everything from inspiration from books, inspiration from some of my favorite cookbooks that I wanted to experiment with, inspiration from childhood recipes and recipes from the past, and going back in time a little bit and playing around with the foods that maybe my grandmother and great-grandmother would have had at their family meals. So there is just so many ways to get yourself excited about cooking, and I hope to share all of the things that have inspired me with you every time I have an opportunity to do so. So I hope that you'll enjoy that. I'm really excited about it. I already have begun my research on some of the things I hope to do in upcoming videos. So look forward to that. I really am. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe and hit the bell notification if you would like to be notified when I do share these fun upcoming videos. And I will see you all real soon. Take care. Bye.